Hello, everyone.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Very good afternoon. I'm Kishwar Nahid, your English language trainer. Today, I'm going to give you a lecture on interview skills. Okay. Can anyone tell me, if any one of you have ever faced an interview? Any one of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. When was it that you faced an interview?
Ma'am, it was back in 2013.
Okay, back in 2013. That was way back.
Yes.
Okay. So let us start with our session. All right. Now, you see, everyone has a job interview at some point in life, right? Now, a job interview does is give employer the chance to meet you, right? And see if they like you enough to give you a job. Okay. If you get it right, you get the job. If you get it wrong, you may have to end up being an unemployed. Right. So, what exactly is a job interview? Who would tell me? What exactly is a job interview? Any one of you would like to answer? Any one of you?
Ma'am, it is basically the process of getting the insight of the interviewee, the person who is appearing for the interview. So,
Okay, that's good. Very good. Very good. So, the employer asks you questions about your career, about your personality and life, right? And you answer honestly while trying to impress them. Easy, right?
yes, ma'am.
Well, well, job interviews can really be stressful. But if you prepare well, then then what? The job interview is going to be really easy. Okay? So whatever it is, whatever interview you have to face, if you prepare well, then you won't get nervous and you will end up getting a job in your hand. Okay? Now before appearing in an interview, you also need to know the different types of interview. What do you mean by different types of interview? Any idea? Different types of interview? Even before the interview starts, you may get an idea whether you'll have an telephonic interview or a one-to-one interview or a panel interview, competency interview, group interview, or series of interviews. Okay? So when it is a telephonic interview, the best thing is that you get enough time to prepare for yourself and you can also schedule it on your time, right? And if it is a one-to-one interview, there'll be just one person and it's going to be a simple question and answer session. Okay? Panel interview is where you're interviewed by more than one person at a time. Okay? May I know your name? You said you appeared in an interview in the year 2013.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, your name, please.
Darpan.
Okay, Darpan. So, what kind of an interview did you face?
Ma'am, it was a series of interviews, and there were various kinds of, there were two or three types of interviews from this list. First, there was a group interview.
Okay.
Then there was a
Okay.
Then you can say there was a one-to-one interview, and then there was a telephonic interview.
Okay. Yes, of course. So every company, again, the pattern may be different. There may be panel interview, competency interview. When there is a competency interview, you'll be tested on different situations. For example, tell me about a time when you showed good teamwork. Okay. So if you're not prepared, it becomes pretty difficult for you to answer all of a sudden. So before an interview, prepare well. Prepare well. preparation is very, very important. Okay. And when it is a group interview, again, a group of people will be sitting beside you, and each one of you will be observed about your behavior within the group, right? And when it is a series of interviews, again, after the first round, you may have to go and face the second or third or fourth round. Okay. Now, if you're a fresher and if it is a campus interview, then you may have to appear in aptitude test. Why are aptitude tests conducted? Any idea? Any idea like why are these aptitude tests conducted?
To check the IQ level of a student.
That's right. There are again different sections in an aptitude test, and that is mainly to filter the students, because in a college there will be so many students, right? So they'll filter the students. They'll grasp some 40 to 50 students, and accordingly they'll ask the students to come for different rounds. Okay. Now, since we have discussed the different types of interviews, now let's move to the next session, that is preparation. Okay. When I say preparation, then what are the things that you should keep in mind before appearing in an interview? How are you going to prepare for the interview? Yes? How are you going to prepare for the interview? What comes to your mind first? You see, interview is just like a presentation. You're going to present yourself in front of the interviewer, right? Now, your presentation involves both verbal as well as non-verbal behaviors. Any idea what is a verbal as well as non-verbal behavior? Do any one of you know?
Includes your appearance, your enthusiasm, your self-confidence. While the verbal experience includes how you express your words to them, how you just speak out the words.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. So, that's right. Verbal is the words that you use. Exactly. Verbal is the words that you use to communicate yourself, and non-verbal, you have to take care of the appearance, the attire that you wear, how you express yourself, your postures, your gestures, maintaining eye contact. When you give your introduction, are you confident enough? You have to show your enthusiasm that you're so much interested in doing the job, right? Plus company knowledge also. Okay, all these together create an impression in front of the interviewer. Now, first and foremost, when we say preparation, we have to start from the very beginning, right? So first is creating a professional resume. Okay, why a resume is so important? What do you think so?
It gives a brief introduction.
You see, okay. Mm-hmm. You see, employers will consider resume that are flawless in format, grammar, and spelling. Okay. Resume should be modified to the specific job for which you have applied, and it should emphasize on relevant work experience and qualification. Okay, and whatever points you mention in your resume, if you are asked a question, you should be able to justify each and every point. Okay, and when you prepare the resume, make sure it is not more than 1 or 2 pages. All right, so once you have prepared your resume, next is what to wear, how to dress for an interview. Now, why is it important to think about how you are going to dress for the interview? Why is it important? Who would like to answer me? Why is it important? Why is what to wear? Why do we have to think about it while facing an interview?
Formal dress.
Okay. Yes. You see, your appearance will be judged. Okay. Your appearance will be judged as an expression of who you are and your approach to work. Okay. So your clothes, your hair, your shoes, everything will be viewed by the interviewer. That actually indicates your status. That indicates your self-confidence, your self-care and self-worth. Okay. Overall, you should look professional. Okay. Now, within the first 30 seconds, or let us say max 60 to 90 seconds, people will be able to judge you. Right? You have to create a first impression. What do you understand by first impression? Why is first impression so important in an interview? Who would
Because
like to
the
answer me?
first impression is your last impression.
Yes, we all know that. First impression is the last impression. So, how can you maintain that impression
By
in an
showing your
interview?
confidence level.
Yes, absolutely. So, when you're answering the questions to the interviewer, make sure you maintain good eye contact, right? Smile. Smile, but it should not be fake. Okay? Smile because it creates a positive vibe. Okay? When you start the introduction and even when you end the introduction, always smile. Strong, dry handshake. When you enter the room, you can start with the handshake, and the handshake should be firm. It should not be loose or weak. Okay? And the introduction that you're going to give in front of the interviewer, it should be clear. Okay? How can it be clear? For that, you have to prepare yourself. You cannot mumble in between, because if you mumble, then the interviewer is going to have a bad impression on you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In addition, you should also show confidence. How can you be confident? If you're well prepared, if you have practiced well, you're already a confident person. Okay? Maintain good posture. What do you mean by posture?
Body language.
Body language, yes, it is a part of body language, I would say. The way you sit, you should sit straight. You can place your hand on the table while speaking, or you can relax it on the two sides of the chair. But don't be sloppy like this. And don't be too stiff. You shouldn't look uncomfortable. Okay? And be aware of the vocal tone and volume. You should be audible to the interviewer. You shouldn't be talking inside your mouth. You should be clear in your words. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have to, okay, you also have to do some preparation before the interview. So, what are those preparations before the interview? We have discussed you should prepare a good professional resume, right? Then you should think about what are you going to wear on the day of your interview. What are the other things that you need to prepare before the interview? Come up with some points, all of you.
We should have good knowledge.
Knowledge about the company.
Knowledge about the company and the questions which they can ask regarding any kind of topic.
Absolutely. You can always practice some common questions at least. You should prepare answers also. First and foremost, you should know yourself. Okay? You should know your strengths and weakness so that you can communicate them in front of the interviewer. You should also do some career goals and plans. Why? Because employers look for people who have done their career planning. Okay? You need to thoroughly research the organization, the company. So, where will you research about the company? Where? From where will you get information about the company?
Internet.
Absolutely. You can find it in Google, or you can directly check in the company's website, right? So before interviewing for a job, prepare thoroughly. And this preparation consists of gathering as much information as possible about yourself and about the prospective employer. Okay, know the organization name, whether it is a private or a public organization, and become familiar with the organization so that you can demonstrate how and why you will be an effective employee. Okay, what are the other things that you need to keep in mind? You can prepare some question and answers, right? Be prepared to arrive early instead of on time. Suppose the interview is at 10 a.m. Don't be at 10. Try to reach earlier, at least 20 to 30 minutes prior. Why am I saying so? You see, before the interview, people get nervous. Don't you think so? We get nervous. We have an interview, we have to prepare. And if you enter at the last moment, there are chances that you may become more nervous. So if you reach before time and you get an idea of the environment, the ambience, you can speak to the receptionist, you can get to know which room you may have an interview. Okay, that way you can just relax. You will have some time to relax. Okay, and do not wear anything this attractive. Now, what should the attire be during the interview? What should you wear? Girls, boys, what should you wear when you have to appear for an interview?
Formal clothes, in a sense.
Formal clothes. When we say formal, what are the things that you can wear?
Formal pants or blazer or a suit.
Okay, suit, not always necessary, but depending upon the situation, depending upon the weather condition, you can wear a suit. Girls can always wear trousers. You may wear a skirt, formal shirts, or you may wear Indian attire also. That is a plain, simple salwar kameez, not the party ones. Okay, and how about the tie? Should you wear a tie?
No. No.
Yes.
Not necessary, but yes, you may, for boys especially. Okay, and always carry 2 copies of your resume, and whenever asked by the interviewer, you can hand it over to them. You may also carry a pen and a pad along with you so that you can make some notes. But remember, not during the interview, only after the interview. Okay, you may make some notes. Now, interview preparation. As I already told you, you should know yourself. How well do you fit the job description? Okay, you should, now when you appear or when you have to appear for a job interview, you need to know the job position you're applying for, right? What are the skills, abilities, and qualities you have that can benefit the organization? You have to prepare for that answer also. Okay, why are you the best fit for the job and the organization? You have to think about all these questions. All right, because you may be asked at any point and you cannot sit idle thinking, what should I answer now? All right, so next is dress accordingly, appropriately to the job, and research the organization, just we discussed, right? Now, practice interview questions, prepare your answers. Now, we will now discuss some of the most common interview questions that you may be asked. Now, tell me about yourself. Why do interviewers ask this question? It is a very simple question. but at the same time, it may seem to be difficult. So, why do interviewers ask you this question? Tell me about yourself. Why do they ask you? Well, what do you think? Why do they ask you this question? Any one of you
Because they want to know about us.
know about you? When they want to know about you, you have to describe yourself professionally, not personally. Okay? So, how are you going to describe yourself? At the same time, they are also looking for your communication skills, how clear you are able to express yourself. Okay? So, I have given you an example, like how you can start. You can always start with your name. You can start with the place information where you live. Then you can talk about your highest educational qualification. If you have any job experience, you can mention that. Okay? Will any one of you, would any one of you like to just prepare a small answer for me? Any one of you? Maybe the girl in red sweater, I guess. Would you like to answer me? I have given you an example. How would you tell me about yourself? Just these 3 points.
My name is Kishwar. I live in Jalandhar city. I have done my graduation from Lalpur Khalsa College in BCom Professional.
Okay, okay, very good. Let's clap for her. Very good. Let's clap. Okay. Now, if you are an experienced person, if you have worked before, then what you need to concentrate here is your work experience. Okay? Tell them what you have done and how it is relevant to the job you're applying for. Okay? The interviewer wants to hear what you have done, what skills you have that makes you a good fit for the organization. All right. And I just gave you a simple example my name is Kishwar. I live in Delhi. I have done my master's in English from Delhi University. I have 2 years of work experience. And later on, you can proceed your answer talking about your job profile, like what you did in that job. Okay. Now, next, very most important, or let's say very common question that is being asked is, what are your strengths? Okay, so what are your strengths? Now, we all have some strengths in us. Like I told you, you need to know your own self. You need to know yourself, only then you'll be able to communicate well in front of the interviewer, right? So it's like the interviewer wants to know how your strengths will be beneficial to the company. I've given you some points like adaptability, flexibility, self motivated, honest, hardworking. These are some of the examples. Whatever suits you, you can use these points. Okay? Here is an example. I'm honest, self motivated, and hardworking person with positive attitude towards my career in my life. This is just for your example. Okay? Now, can any one of you tell me, the person who is wearing a cap, I guess, or a hat? I don't know. Could you tell me what are your strengths?
I am honest,
Okay.
self-motivated, and
Okay.
positive.
Okay. All right. Very good. And remember one thing. Suppose you have used these. Like you may say, I'm self motivated. You also have to justify this point with a example. If you say you're honest or self motivated, how would you justify the answer? You have to prepare that answer also. Okay? Whatever words you throw out of your mouth, you have to justify each and every word. You said you are self motivated. Why do you think you are self motivated? Like, what have you done that makes you say that you're self-motivated? How are you going to explain it? Think. Each one of you, please think. Come up with 1 point at least.
Confidence level.
Confident. Okay. Like, can you give me an example? Like, why did you say confident? For example, you see, suppose you said, I'm confident. Like, you have maybe in during your college life or your school life, uh, you have given a lot of presentation, and I have the confidence to give presentation in front of people, because during my school days and even in college, I have given a lot of presentations in front of my college students, in front of my friends, in public. I have given many presentations, and I'm confident to give presentation. So I would say I'm a confident person. Did you get an idea what I'm trying to explain here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So whatever point you say, you have to justify your answer. Okay. Next is, what are your weaknesses? We discussed what are your strengths. Now, what are your weaknesses? You see, the interviewer wants to know your weakness. In case it may affect the job profile, okay, they may not hire you. Okay, now here are some of the points I just mentioned: straightforward, impatient, trust people too quickly, sensitive. These are some examples. And remember, even if it is a weakness, you have to turn it in a positive note. Okay, here is an example. I can't say no when someone asks help. I take decisions very quickly. Is this answer going to help you? Can you give such an answer in front of the interviewer?
Partially.
You may give this answer, but at the same time, you have to justify the answer. Okay, I take decisions very quickly, but I know in a working environment, especially when I'm working in a team, it is always better to discuss and then take decision, and I have to work on it. Okay, you may say, I am not very good, my public speaking skills are not very good, I am working on it to improve it. This is another example that you can use. Okay, any confusion?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, anything else you want to ask me? Okay, since you have no questions, let's move forward. Now, summary of important points. So we have done a lot of discussions in the meanwhile. What did we learn? We have to research the employer and the industry. Before an interview, you have to find out the details about the company, the organization, and where will you find the information?
From the company website or from Google.
Internet.
Very good. Then practice interviewing. How can you practice interviewing? How can you? Think about it. Practice. How are you going to practice? What you can do is, you can ask a friend of yours to be the interviewer. You can make a list of some questions. You can prepare the answers. Ask your friend to ask you the questions. Try to answer. When you answer, you will get the confidence. Okay, I'm able to answer. If you get stuck or if you mumble, then you will understand, oh no, I have to prepare more. So this is how you can practice. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Be aware of creating a good first impression. How can you create a good first impression? What are the points that you need to keep in mind to create a good impression?
You must be
Who would like to answer?
You must be confident. You must make a good eye contact with the interviewer. and
Very good.
dress in a formal way.
Well dressed,
Uh-huh. Yes.
maintaining
Well dressed, tidy hair, clean shoes, everything. Everything will be viewed. Then make sure your interview attire is clean, polished, pressed, and appropriate. Iron your clothes properly. Okay? Be confident and positive. These are the most important things or criteria that you need to keep in mind before appearing in an interview. Okay? Now, when you apply for a job position, also read the job description well. Okay? Read the job description well. What skills does the employer require? Do you meet or do your skills match with the credentials of the company? You have to keep that in mind and you have to prepare answers accordingly. And you have to justify the answers also. Okay?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So far, do you have any questions for me? Anything that you would want to know?
No, ma'am.
No questions? Okay. So you have an interview. Best of luck for the interview. You see, I told you interview is just like giving a presentation, right? Presenting yourself in front of the interviewer. So it can be like public speaking. The more you practice, it becomes easier. And how are you going to practice?
With the friends,
With friends or maybe with your elders. You can always come up with, sorry?
Teachers.
I'm so sorry, I didn't get you.
Ma'am, teachers. Teachers.
Okay, yes, of course. Yes, of course. You can always clarify your doubts. You can ask your teachers also. Now, we have discussed about things that you should do before an interview. Now, what should you do after the interview is over? Whatever questions the interviewer has asked you, you have answered them. You have showed full confidence. Maybe you are being able to impress the interviewer with all the answers. After the interview, what are you supposed to do? Always thank the interviewer. Thank you so much. And before ending, you can always shake hand with the interviewer and go out of the room or walk out of the room. Okay? And at the same time, whatever answer you give, whatever you do, you should show passion that you love the job as much to be a part of the company. Okay? Any questions?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how should you shake hands? What are the things that you should keep in mind while shaking hand with the interviewer? Any one of you would like to read these points for me? Maybe the girl in black jacket. Would you read the points for me?
yes, ma'am. Smile and make eye contact as you shake hands. Extend your hand. Your palm should touch the palm of an interviewer. Use the firm handshake. Adjust your grip of the other person's hand. Hold the handshake for 2 to 3 seconds, making a slight up and down pumping motion.
Okay, okay. So, did you understand these points? Did you ever think about keeping these points in mind whenever you shake hands?
No, ma'am.
No, right? These things doesn't come to our mind, but you have to be very cautious. Think about it whenever it comes or whenever it's a job interview. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So when it is a job interview, be confident, be prepared, be yourself. All right? Preparation is the key to success. Okay? Now, things that you should remember when answering the interview questions. describing yourself. Why do they ask this question? They're looking for a reason why you would be a good fit for the position. So you have to come up with your skills. Okay? If you're a master's in commerce, you have to prepare yourself that what are the points you're going to say in front of the interviewer. What are the good skills? If you want to enter the sales market, then what are the skills that you're going to show? Okay? Maintain eye contact. This could be the most important attribute to make or break your interview. Because if you look down and talk, will you look confident?
No.
No. So maintain eye contact. That is a powerful tool, I would say. Stay positive. Even when asked questions about your dislikes and weaknesses, it is important to turn them around to be viewed as positive. Okay? So do not show any kind of negativeness. Stay positive all the time. Listen. Be sure you fully understand the question before you begin answering. Listening is also a very important technique. Okay? Now, interviewer has asked you a question. If you did not listen properly and if you give a wrong answer, will the interviewer hire you? No. So listen carefully. If you have not understood the question, what would you do?
Request them to repeat the question.
Yes. Sorry. Could you please repeat that? I did not get you. I did not understand. Could you please repeat the question once again? You can always ask the interviewer to repeat. Okay? So, we spoke about the interview skills. We spoke about the things that you need to prepare before the interview, even after the interview. While answering the questions, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? Okay, so always mention your positive points that are suitable for the job. Okay, and the key is be confident and relaxed for any job interview it is. Okay, any questions that you have for me right now
No.
regarding interview skills?
Yes, ma'am.
No one?
No, ma'am.
Yes, what?
No, ma'am, nothing. I'm sorry.
No questions?
No.
Okay, all right. It was really nice giving this lecture to each one of you. I really enjoyed my class. Have a very good day ahead. Okay? Thank you and take care.
Same to you.
Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.